Good morning, Gretna High School. I am Thomas Mountain.
I'm Carsen Galber.
I'm Cameron Cerny.
And this is the third period podcast.
Welcome back. Now, previously, it was just me and Thomas, but little Carsen here decided to finally show up and come back from Belize.
Who are you?
Okay. Well, how's Belize, Carson?
Thank you for asking me, Thomas. It was great. I had a great time. We weren't actually in Belize. We were in San Pedro, which is an island off of Belize.
Why would you lie to me?
I mean, but yeah, we flew into Belize City, and then we would take a ferry to San Pedro, and then we actually were living on an island off of San Pedro, so I just got you again. But yeah, it was great.
What? You just all right? You
Yeah,
didn't do
you
nothing.
gotta keep going.
You didn't do nothing? What'd you do?
When I was there,
I heard you told like the lunch table.
Yeah, when I was there,
Yeah.
I went on two boat cruises for the day, like from like 9 to 4. And for the first one, well, actually for both of them, we did the two same things. We went to the same. It's called Holchan Marine Reserve.
Okay.
And it's a Mayan word for like channel or something.
Okay.
You know, because it's like an ocean. Anyway, that was super cool. We snorkeled on the second biggest reef in the entire world. Australia's got us beat, but
All right.
it's all right. And then after that, it was about another 30-minute boat ride to Shark Ray Alley, where I swam with sharks twice. I was only bit at once, so that was pretty cool.
Did they actually try and nip
Yeah,
at you?
wait, what?
No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
Why would you even say that then?
Well, I don't
I'm
know. I don't
intrigued.
know. What
You know
it
that the
is.
ocean's like
Yeah, I
my
know.
biggest fear.
It really is scary out there.
No one knows what's in. This
No,
is
yeah,
for
we
another
don't.
podcast,
We
but,
only
like,
know like 3% of what's in the ocean.
Don't get me fed up on this, bro. Because
We should have an entire podcast just on conspiracy theories.
For
No,
real?
that
I
would
was
go for
thinking
2
about
hours.
that. Yeah, that would be.
We would soak that up. I hope you would like that.
Bro,
Okay.
literally, the ocean, biggest fear. Biggest fear. We have no idea what's in
was
there.
thinking
Is it
about
the
it.
No
ocean
idea.
or like just like the open water?
Well, no, because I can go into a lake and be fine. Because I know that there's just catfish in that
See,
lake.
like when we were like flying over the ocean, we were in like the Gulf of Mexico, so there was like no surrounding land in some of the places where we were looking out the window, and like that's so scary to think of, like how there's just that much amount of like, I mean not land, but like area where there's just
There's nothing.
wide open water.
Just water. Because it's literally the ocean. Like, I can go to lakes. I went to Wisconsin a couple years ago, and we went tubing on Lake Michigan. And like when you can get far enough out to where you can't. It's like you can barely see land because that's just how big the Great Lakes are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like fine with that because I'm like, oh, whatever. It's still a lake where it's still good.
Yeah.
It's just the ocean where it's like we have no idea what's there. We have no idea.
Yeah.
We have no idea what's out there.
Even like I went to Branson, Missouri, and a large part of that place is like flooded, and so a lot of the lakes there's actual like buildings underwater, maybe 100 feet deep or so.
Cooper has like a phobia of that.
Yeah, so I'll swim.
For
So
some
like you
stupid
can
reason.
swim there, and there's like still trees poking up, and you can like look down and see the tops of those
Yeah.
trees. It is creepy.
That is
Yeah.
It's the same thing in like the Ozarks because it was probably like a a valley in like an area,
Yeah.
and then they fill it with and they cut off like a river. Yeah, it's the same thing in like the Ozarks. Like there's so much under it because they had to knock out like this entire like community in this valley to form like the Ozarks, and they're like, we're the government's making you leave.
Y'all ever seen the movie Waterworld? Or Waterworld, Water Wars? It's a really old. I think it's a Kevin Costner movie. It's very old though. It's a very bad movie. It's known for being bad, I believe. I've only seen bits and pieces, but it's like all the world has like been flooded and everything's underwater now, and so like everyone. It's like Mad Max, but like the opposite, where they're instead of fighting for water, they're like all in boats, and they like fight just to try to get to land, and like there's a cool scene where they go underwater and all the old buildings are there, and it's super cool.
Nice.
But also scary because there's octopus and everything going on.
And I mean, they always
Yeah.
say that like we know more about our own ocean, or no, sorry, we know more about space than we do our own ocean. Don't they say that?
I think so.
That's
mean,
creepy.
Yeah.
There's probably like our galaxy. We don't know anything about what's past our galaxy, but like, yeah. I was gonna say something. Oh, I saw some jellyfish too. What's so weird about jellyfish, when you look at them underwater, you can't like see them unless they're like right on you. So like I would be swimming and there'd be one like right under me because they're completely see through.
Really?
And it's like freaky, yeah.
Because you know, at the zoo, you know, they're all kind of almost glowing.
Yeah, like an
That's
orange
because
color.
what they do is they
inject them with orange food
glow
coloring.
gene. From College Bio.
From College Bio. Yeah, Miss Childs. I know my grasses.
That's actually not what they do, but I think they just make the water a certain color to make it like make them pop. But like with
probably.
the sun and like everything that's going on around, like I was in like probably 3 feet of water just like swimming around. This wasn't on like the snorkeling trip. We were at like this beach, and I was like looking at stuff under me. There's like a bunch of conch shells or whatever, and like I just looked under me and there's like this jellyfish like doing its thing, you know. I was like, you can't see that. Like if it was like where the camera is right now in the ocean, I wouldn't have even noticed it. Like it's so weird. It never touched me. It probably wasn't poisonous, but
I don't think they'd make you swim in that area if there was.
Yeah, but like, would you pee on your dad if you had to?
I'd pee on my dad for anything.
I would just do it. I'm just anything. Man.
Yeah.
I was at the Museum of Natural History. They have this big, like, ocean section, and I was already. They have it's a a huge museum. From the Museum of Natural History. From The Night of the Museum, the movie starring Ben Stiller, great movie.
Those are
pretty good.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Robin Williams. But there's this dinosaur exhibit, and I was already like freaked out because you go through these dinosaur exhibits and you see all these skeletons. You're like, these bitches were big, like for real. Like they're huge. There was this one.
Well, I mean, dinosaurs aren't real, but keep going.
Dinosaurs aren't real. They're just a government conspiracy.
Yeah.
Conspiracy
to make money. But anyway, move on.
to make money from museums.
Yeah.
But like there was this one huge like cafe place, and they had a dinosaur. They had one like dinosaur skeleton that like when the tail went out one door, and the skeleton like went through the whole like place, and its head was out the other door, and it was a huge like conference kind of room, and it was
a cafe.
Yeah, it was like a cafe, but it was like the size. It was like the size of a conference room. You know what I'm saying? And it was gigantic.
I don't know how that makes sense, but alright.
It's like the size of a conference room.
Yeah.
No, not like a conference room. Like,
Are you talking about how it would fit in the room?
No, it's like a cafe
not
that's the size of a conference room.
Oh. No, not like a
food court. I don't know.
Not like a conference room, like a school conference room, where it's just
compare it to the stage that we're looking at
like
right
at the
now.
table.
That should be the backdrop.
It's bigger
of
than
this
the stage.
podcast.
It's bigger than the stage.
Oh wow.
It was bigger. It was bigger than.
They
the
must
stage.
have a high amount of customers to fill that cafe.
Was it the Museum of
Natural History? Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's probably gonna be a lot of people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
But like then I went to they had an ocean section, and they had life-size replicas of a bunch of the animals. Gosh, things in the ocean are big.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet you there's gotta
huge.
be dinosaurs still alive in the ocean.
They
I bet
had-
there's some big thing.
I dead ass had a panic attack when I was like walking under the whale. Whales are so big.
Yeah.
They're so big, and I'm just like, how are we in charge? How are humans in charge when there's these huge animals?
They're stupid, but
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, it's not like they're.
Dolphins run the underwater world.
Homo sapien.
Underwater world.
Sapient means big brain.
Homo means.
Dude. Why can a girl bang 10 guys?
What? Come on.
That was a joke I told Cameron today. I'll
tell me later. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, Belize.
Yeah.
We got off
So
track.
we did 2 of those cruises, and both times we went to this Holchan place, Marine Reserve, and we went to the Shark Ray Alley, and those are both really cool. And then after we would just find the Caribbean Sea is very shallow if you're not unless you're I mean, it's not the Caribbean Sea, but if you're in the Gulf of Mexico or whatever.
Shallow enough that a boat can get through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The majority of the water is probably. I mean,
talking 6 feet.
Talking in ocean sense, the deepest it gets is 12 feet. and that's like not deep at all.
Diving board. That's diving
like,
board.
And especially
level.
in like how beautiful that ocean is, you can see the bottom like easily.
Wow.
But like the majority is not 12 feet. The majority is probably like 6. And then we found an area. I mean, it's the place that these people that drove us around or boated us around went all the time. But it was this area, and it was about 3 feet deep, and we put up like a volleyball net and stuff. But it was like so beautiful. And then what else did we do?
What?
It's so beautiful.
It was so beautiful.
It's really pretty.
What else did I do? I mean, I drank a lot of Belizean water. Yeah. And then we just hung out at the house and chilled out and stuff. Were you gonna ask me?
Was your whole family?
Well,
no, I'm sorry, Cameron.
Well,
Was your whole family? I'm sorry, Cameron.
One more
What was
time.
your whole family? I'm sorry, Cameron.
Rule of 3.
I don't even want to ask the question. Was your whole family there, or was it?
It
Just
was my mom's parents. We'll just go with that. And I mean, all of her siblings.
Yeah, like
that side of the,
that's
mom's
what
side of the
that's what I
family.
was asking.
Yeah.
Like, were your cousins there and everything?
Just no. All of the like closely related ones are actually my aunts and uncles.
Mm.
And they're around like 20 to 28.
Why
age.
I saw a lot of pictures of Clara because Lee posted a lot of pictures of Clara,
Yeah,
and
she
it seemed
loves
like
her more. So.
makes sense.
So you came back, and probably one of the first stories you told. I don't know if you want to retell that story. It's a little
The
depressing.
taxi story?
It's a little depressing, but like
This is a good story.
it is a good story.
I want to hear it. I want to hear
Oh
it.
my god, this is kind of one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me. Probably.
It was-
What's going on over there?
So you're telling me this big
So
crazy story.
okay, so to get back to Belize City where the airport is, we had to take this ferry ride
Mhm.
on this big old boat that was that seated probably like 30 to 40 people, and it's about an hour and a half boat ride to from San Pedro to Belize City. And we get into Belize City, and if you've ever been out of the country, you know that once you are in an area with a lot of tourists and a lot of locals, they do nothing but try and sell stuff, like
Mhm.
come into
Oh,
our
yeah.
shop, you know.
yeah,
like,
I was in
Yeah.
Costa Rica for a little bit.
yeah, or like when you come out of the airport, right when you get there, it's like they just bombard
yeah,
you.
yeah.
It's like crazy, with like timeshares and stuff. But we get out there, and the same thing's happening with like the taxi people. So we're like, we found one that we thought was like nice, whatever, you know. And we're like, all right, we're waiting for our bags to get off the ship, but once we get them, then we'll go. We got our bags, and then we're walking to the taxi. You know, we show up to the taxi, and it's like an old gray Mitsubishi like SUV, and it's like whatever. It's a third world country. It's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
We get in the car, and we're driving around. And in Belize, and like most other third world countries, the streets are like, they're like not. They're not the same as like here. Like there's no roads and there's no lines in the road. There's no street signs. Like not unlimited speed limit, but like you can do what you want.
Yeah.
So my mom, just out of curiosity,
But
was
like the roads are just full of people.
No,
or just people
no.
walking around, cars.
It's just cars passing each other, like in each other's lanes. Like it's scary,
Okay.
but like different and kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so my mom, out of curiosity and trying to be funny, she was like, "Do you guys ever get in car accidents here?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Well, let me tell you a story." Or no, he didn't say that, but he was like, "Well, last week I got into one." And we're like, "Oh, really? How bad was it?" And he's like, "Well," he said, I'm trying to think of what he's like, he didn't say like fender bender, but he said that he used the word her. He said, I hit her. And we all were like, oh, he's referencing like a car. Like just saying the word her, because that's what people do.
Yeah.
Small wins. And and we're like, okay, whatever. And he keeps going into the detail into the story. He's like, yeah, it was late at night. There was a car coming at me with bright LED lights, and you know, I couldn't see well. It was dusk, and I was only looking at the side of the road.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stay on the side of the road because that's all you can see. You can't look like in because here comes the lights.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's driving along. He said around like 40 miles per hour, and he uses the word her. He's like, I hit her. And we're like, oh, he hit a car. And then he went along with the story, and he said her again, and we're like, wait. And we're like, still like, what's going on? Like, do you like? Well, actually, we never really connected until he said it to us. So he was like, and he's like, here, I'll show you pictures. And he's like, he has his phone out going 40 miles per hour here, like looking for it through his phone, and he's like doing that, and he finds it and he shows us, and we're like, wait. And he's like, what? And we're like, you actually hit someone? And he's like, yes. And he shows us, and he's like, here's where her head was. And we're like, oh my god.
Wait, he just like showed you a picture of the car?
Yeah,
like,
his totaled car, like from the day after, like in sunlight, like whatever.
Yeah.
And we're like, you hit someone? And he's like, yes, she's dead. And we're like,
I don't know if I can laugh or not.
No, you can laugh. We were sitting in the back. Yeah. 4 of us in the back, and one in the front. Jack was the one in the front. He's one of my uncles. He's like 28. Mm-hmm. And Jack was like, after we got back to the airport, he's like, he kept saying her. Why didn't you guys realize he was talking about someone? And we were like, I don't know. We just assumed he didn't kill someone. Yeah. So like he keeps talking, and he's like, yeah, like I hit her at 40 miles per hour.
That's so bad.
And he's like clean death. like full. Oh my god, it's great. And then he's like, so we found out more about her because you couldn't really tell from how fast he was hitting her. Like everything was everywhere.
Yeah.
That she was the 73-year-old woman.
Oh my god.
That had Alzheimer's.
Okay.
And she had been known to wander. So she wasn't in the street where she should have been. She was crossing in the middle of the street on like a busy highway going where people are going 40 miles per hour. The guy didn't even slow down because he couldn't see her. Mm-hmm. So when he went to jail because
Yeah. We said it was like a week ago.
Yeah. There's more to the story. So he gets to jail, and they go through his case, and they're like, well, we tracked down the guy that was driving by you. Because it was like a certain truck, Yeah. And the police officers that were like interrogating him were like, that they were illegal lights.
Oh.
And it was dusk, you couldn't see anything, and she was not where she should have been. So there really is zero fault on your part.
Yeah.
And so, like, obviously that's good because he was a sweethart. Like, he was a really nice old guy,
Really nice guy that killed someone.
And didn't explain it well, but yeah. And then obviously he was pretty thankful for that. Yeah. Because it wasn't his fault. And then like after like the children of the girl that got hit were like calling him and like telling him like how terrible of a person he was and like all this. Like imagine that. Like on top of killing someone, like being just like shit on.
Bullied. Bullied. I don't think bullied is even the word.
Yeah. No, just berated with hate. I mean, it was an accident.
And it wasn't his fault at all. Yeah. Like, even if it was, like, 5% fault, because, like, they do that with, like, insurance. Like, they'll, like, give you a percentage of your fault. Yeah, okay, sure. Not really, but, like, sure. But, like, he literally, like, there was no fault. Because if it would have made sense if there was fault if he could have, like, slowed down or something, but he couldn't. He didn't even see her. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah. And, like, asked for money and stuff, but he's like, I'm a broke guy that lives in Belize City.
I lost the momentum.
It's good.
It's fine.
That lives in Belize City and doesn't have like any money, and I taxi people from this ferry. Like I couldn't help them at all. I can barely help my own family. So
I mean, that was the thing. Like I thought it was interesting that he just goes right back into it, like a week. Yeah, like a week later.
And in his rental, the Mitsubishi was a rental. Like that's just crazy to think.
Yeah, and like I mean that's probably all he can do, and he's got to make money.
Yeah, it's really sad. And he's like, I haven't slept since like.
Jeez.
I mean, just imagine that, like, killing someone. Like, that's, like, ending a human life. Like, that's crazy. Anyway, we didn't know what to do in the moment because he also didn't say it the best way. He was extremely blunt. So we had, like, no choice but to be, like, like, like kind of, like, awkwardly laughing. Like, he couldn't hear us, but, like, we were, like, looking at each other in the back. We're, like, serious right now? And, like, my sister's, like, she's, like, 12. And then my mom is, like, trying to hold in laughter, and it's, like, horrible.
Oh, my God. Well, it's a coping mechanism, Cameron.
Yeah.
It's awkward laughter. That's what it wasn't like.
Yeah.
Because after my mom came
what would you do if I was like, oh, I hit and killed someone yesterday? You'd be like...
Oh, yeah?
What was I going to say? My mom was
I hit
obviously...
and killed Sophia.
My mom was obviously very, like, sad, so after she hugged him a bunch and, like, told her to have, like, a good life, you know, whatever, helping him out.
Call me. Call me from the States.
Call me. But yeah, that's my story. That's probably one of the craziest stories I've ever, like, heard or been a part of, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got back, and we had, like, an 8-hour layover in Houston and then a 2-hour delay, so.
Well,
what a day that was.
Well, I went to an escape room, so.
Yeah?
Yeah. She already knew that.
Yeah.
Did you actually watch those?
Not that part. I fell asleep when I was watching it.
Just like half the people that probably watch it.
Well, it was like...
Shout out to Tristan Minichetti for, like, cleaning her shoes and watching the podcast. Like,
she was?
yeah, she sent me a Snapchat that was, like, her cleaning her shoes and, like, watching our podcast. And it was at the point where I'm like, don't watch the podcast. Like, just listen to it and do some chores. And she was like, So I'm like, thanks for watching the podcast.
Well, that's why podcasts are on, like, Spotify.
Stop moving.
Are on, like, Spotify and, like, iTunes, because you're just listening to people.
Yeah.
It's not like they're doing anything. So, yeah. What else is on the itinerary for today?
I don't know. I was going to bring up some of the things we did over break.
I went to an escape room.
Yeah, you did.
I went to Belize.
That's cool.
You went skiing, didn't you?
I did go skiing. I've talked to him about it many times.
Did you not talk about that in the last one?
No, I did. I mean, dude, it was in the title.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just letting you guys know I'm, like, big skier.
Yeah, he's the big skier, so I was kind of excited to tell him
that I
went skiing.
Small ones.
I think I wore his snow stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, you were like...
Were they gray North Face pants?
Yeah.
I was like...
Yeah, they had a rip in the thing.
I was like, I remember texting you one day, I'm like, where are you? Like, well, I'm at the Gobbers trying to get some ski stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was fun. I would definitely...
Like, Crescent...
Mount Carsen.
Yeah, again,
to be real, it's
I went on
crap.
such a lame
but
hill.
It's a great way to start.
Yeah.
But like
totally go to
Colorado is like, oh, it's so freaking dope.
I think we should do that for senior trip.
But we'd have to go like sooner rather than later because it's the snow season, you know.
Mm-hmm. I think we should seriously stay an extra day in Sioux City after the show choir competition.
And then do what?
I think there's a skiing thing up there.
Maybe, but my grandma like has like a timeshare in Colorado because they go every like Thanksgiving, and I could maybe talk to her about maybe doing like spring break, but I don't know. My mom was talking to me about this, that we can maybe do that.
Your mom's really passionate about getting us a senior trip.
Yeah. When I got the snow pants, she's like, "You boys need to set something up right now."
Yeah.
You boys just.
Yeah.
I saw her yesterday and I gave her a big old hug and I was like, "Hey, Lee, you look all tan. Why is Carsen still look pale?"
I am actually darker than like both of you guys, so get out of here.
Well, yeah,
you're redder than.
I just have red skin. I just have red undertones.
I have red undertones. I have agony.
I know. Next podcast, I want to go into because I know we could probably talk about. Movies for a while.
Oh yeah,
women.
I don't know. What are you looking forward to in 2019? What do you want to?
Like movie wise. What are you asking?
I don't know, dude.
I say we save the movies for another one.
Cause like I'm looking forward to a lot of things in 2019.
Tell us about them.
The birth of my daughter.
What? No way.
I had some friends over for a Thanksgiving kind of Christmas dinner. I made a big old turkey.
It was real good. I was impressed.
Thank you. I made a big old turkey, like whole turkey. I got out of school at 2:00 to start making it, and it was done at 7.
Yeah, it was real good. We should do it
and then some mashed potatoes. We want to do it tomorrow. And then I made some mashed potatoes, and everyone else brought some food. And so when we were getting ready for dinner, Josh, I asked Josh to do prayer because he wants to be that youth pastor. So I'm like, who's better to do a prayer than Josh? Had him do a prayer, and then when we all sat down, I was like, hey, thank you for all for coming. I really appreciate it. Nicole's pregnant, and just really enjoy your dinner and let's have a good time.
I set this entire thing up just for that joke.
Yeah, just that.
Everyone can go home.
Everyone can go home now. That was a really fun night, though.
It was.
I don't know why I keep touching your leg, but like there's this hole right here in your pants that's
unrelated. There's this hole that I want to be touching.
I just see her skin and I just want to get in there.
You made it bigger. All right.
I haven't noticed that until.
Yeah.
Didn't you do that at like Shokware?
You know, this kind of shows how much taller I've gotten because this was on my knee when I first got him. Because that's how it happened. I would like skid him. Yeah.
You know, I like to think that one day I'll just die, and then my mom will just like watch these and be like, "Oh my gosh, I remember that."
No, for real. That's probably why my mom gets all choked up every time. Because like at the end of that the corn maze one, like it gets all like montagey. And my mom's like, "Yeah, I cried, and you're not even dead yet."
I'm gonna die young.
Yeah, when do you think you're gonna
die? At 19 from a heroin overdose. I have a problem.
I've always thought I think it'll either be like when I'm like in my 20s because there's something like that I did that was stupid.
I think
from
it's
like natural selection.
I think
like
I'm
being
gonna,
stupid.
Yeah.
Or it'll be like really lit, really old, probably from
really
cancer.
lit. It'll be something really lit.
Shout out my funeral. Come hang out.
Gonna fake my own death, just so I can see who shows up.
We're trying to shoot a podcast.
Rebar. Andy.
Who?
Andy Norris.
Oh, they were talking Andy B. We gotta have Andy B on this podcast.
Oh my god, that'd be.
No, we got. Like I said, like in the first episode, if you have like third hour study hall or third hour, just you're not doing anything. Text one of us and would love to have you on the show.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you're one of our many not local fans, sorry.
How many people do you actually like? We don't know. How many people do you think actually watch these?
6 people.
6? I would say 0.
I would say 0 too.
No,
I would say our channel.
Going on a limb and say 6 people.
You're saying like people from not even.
I'm
like,
saying someone
from.
from.
I'm saying 6 people have stumbled upon our video somehow, and they are like, "What was this?"
Yeah, but then watch like 30 seconds.
Yeah, and then they get
okay,
out.
Okay, but do you think like anyone's really gone through half an hour of this?
Yes.
No, like one of those people that we have no idea.
No, probably not. No.
Yeah.
I mean, probably barely. I couldn't even get through the first ones.
I suckered Rylan into watching it at work the other day.
Oh God.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to. Actually, he was like, "Oh, so we gotta go podcast. We'll put up on the big screen and watch it." And I'm like, "That's not how Rylan talks. I shouldn't be acting like it does."
How does he talk? Rylan has a very good
Oh,
voice.
come on!
Not like that, but like what his normal voice though. Like
I don't know.
he's kind of.
It's kind of a little breathy.
He kind of sighs when he talks. That's why everyone likes him though.
Yeah, Rylan's a cool guy.
Now they stopped.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give him a haircut sometime soon.
Well,
Are you just gonna open up a business?
Not a business. It's probably like, hey, if you want a haircut, $5, Thomas Mountain. Text me.
If you want a haircut, $4, Carsen Garden.
I'm not gonna lower it.
I did that. You already know. Though.
I'll say $10.
He did this, messed me up real good.
I didn't. At the beginning, I did. Now.
No,
It's nice.
no. Did you see the back?
Guess who did that?
You were making fun of the back.
Guess who cut your back?
Guess who let me do it?
Guess who cut it? That doesn't even matter. You did it. I was trying to make it funny. Also, I thought it was gonna work out in the end, but it didn't. And you're stupid. That's why.
It looks fine.
Everything
we'll
I
let
did
it grow
turned out
out
fine.
and then we'll cut it. Thank you for joining us.
Room 2's breaking up. Room 2's done.
Thank you for joining us today. Next podcast we'll probably
Talk about movies, right? Is that,
we'll talk about movies.
Find something to talk about.
movies, entertainment. You know.
Maybe we'll talk about.
Probably the.
Maybe we'll just sit here in silence for 30
I
minutes.
know the conspiracy podcast would be. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get really uncomfortable. You know I am.
That'll be a Room 2 special at the 10th podcast.
Yeah. The 10th.
Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. 1K likes, and we'll do a conspiracy theory podcast. See you later, roomies.
10 likes, and we'll do a conspiracy theory podcast. All right.
Thanks
See
for
you later.
watching. Thanks for watching the third
Catch you next time. My uncle actually has a podcast called the John Tom Podcast. Little plug.
Your uncle has a podcast?
Yeah, he's
How have you not shown me this?
because I don't listen to podcasts that much. I listen to a podcast with my sister in the car called Why Am I Single? And weird thing to listen to with your sister in the car. Let me tell you something.